Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here. I thought while we're working on this little grungy journal, let's finish it up, I hope. I'm hoping I can get it done in this video. So where we left off, we had grungified the cover. There's still a little bit more I want to do to it. We've kind of got a couple of pages. I've got the strip I cut off of the envelope. I'll link the first video in the description box below. It was just the day before that I did this. So let's finish up the front to begin with. And I've chosen out this image from a 1952 ladies journal magazine because I wanted an image that I could put on both halves, and this kind of worked for me. It's an ad for dry skin. It's nothing super exciting, but I thought it could be quite fun on the cover. So I'm going to tear around them carefully so I don't chop any essential parts off. And I'm going to have to tear between them, but we'll do a step at a time. So how are you today, my friends? I hope you are having a fantastic day. I'm a little cold, and I'm a little cold because I have not lit the fire this morning. It's I got up and it was like, oh, it's not too bad. And then the longer the morning's gone on, it's like, I am a little bit cold, but I'm kind of trying to tough it out. So my fingers are cold. My nose is probably going to do something silly like run. Now, do I want that torn, or do I want to put it against the edge? Maybe torn and against the edge, if that makes sense. Right, now I've got this funny little pointy bit there I don't really like. It's slightly better than what it was. Right, now to separate these two. So she's got her cup of tea and her pearls. Very 1952, isn't it? The pearls. And we just need to kind of tear along her arm. Not too bad. Not perfect, but not bad. She's going to be a little wide, actually. So we need to take off that little pointy bit at the bottom, off her elbow basically. Might tear a little bit more off here. I'm being quite finicky with my tearing, but that's okay. And then I think I need to take a bit off down here as well. Just to make her fit. That's better. She now fits. And I think I want him, because she's looking up, so he needs to be up a little bit. And I'm just going to take off this bit in here and that bit there. Oops, now I've got a point where his nose is. Don't want that. Okay, I'm not liking that it's covering that bit of newsprint underneath. I don't want to completely hide it, so maybe we'll tear a bit more off. Gee, the way I'm going, we're not going to get this finished in this video, but I will try my best. This is the cover, so I want it to look good. I want it to be the way I want it, so it's worth taking a bit of time over, I think. Okay, now I had also grabbed out a bit of tissue and thought, do I want to put a bit of texture underneath? Let's tear a bit and see. Of course, I don't want the straight edges. I kind of like that. I want to distress it up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to use tacky glue. I don't want to use glue stick because that's going to flatten all the crinkles out that I just put in. So I'm just going to kind of come around the edges. Oops, a little difficult. I'm trying out some different lighting. Do let me know if it's too dark or something. I just haven't been happy with my setup for a while, but you know, I was doing my best, and I'm trying it without one of my lights, interestingly enough. And I thought doing a wee test, I thought it looked less shadowy. But I don't know, maybe it's too dark. So let me know if you think it's a bit dark. Right, can I add some vintage photo to the, just kind of trying to hit those creases more than anything and just de-whitify it, if you get what I'm saying. Right, let's give him some vintage photo as well. I was wanting to put some colour on the cover, so I was actually after colour images, but none was speaking to me, and I came across this one. I thought, yep, this is the one. There's no colour in it. I do have to say, I don't know whether it's too dark for you, but I feel like it's too dark for me. So we'll see. The lighting, I mean, not the images. Right, and there's just a bit poking up there. We need to add a bit of glue there. Right, let's glue him on. Lock him in. Yep, there goes my nose. My nose wants to drip because it's cold. Really attractive, isn't it? So glad I tell you all these things. But it just explains why I need to take a little moment to take care of it. All right, so there's just a little bit of that tissue peeping through. Just a bit of texture. Right, okay, let's do the same thing with her. Screw it up and unravel it. Probably didn't need such a big piece because most of it's going to be behind the picture, but never mind. How I lay the picture down, how I lay the tissue down is probably going to change from where I tested it, so just in case. Need a little bit under there. Give it a bit of a push around. Right, give it some ink. Bring my ink over a bit so it's more accessible. Okay, now around her. Yeah, the cold is just making my throat a bit froggy. Obviously my tongue won't form words. Tripping over my own tongue. Nothing unusual there though. I'm sure you'll agree. I'm often tripping over my words. So we do have a little bit of that tissue poking out to the side, so good thing I left it there. Adds a little bit of detail on the side, just a tiny wee detail. Right, so we're almost done with the cover. I haven't yet attacked the back, but I can do that off camera. You know, just ink around it, give it a little bit of dirty up. I don't think I'll put anything specific on there in terms of focal image. I don't even know if I'm going to add like some collage book page, but it's the back, so probably just distress it and say good as. Okay, so I think I'll just ink around it, give it a something, but nothing much. Okay, so that's the cover. I'm now looking and going, there's nothing up here. I think I need to add some labels or something. I thought I was done with the cover, but you know, let's look at a stamped label. Text one might be okay. Vertical one. No, not that one anyway. There's a bit of colour. No, too bold. Too bold. There's another text one. Pulling out the same kind of labels, aren't I? There's a bit of purple. So maybe. Again, that red's just a little bit too bold on that cover. Bit of map. No, I don't like two labels like that. Oh, my fingers are struggling because they're cold. Even worse, no fingernails and cold. So particularly struggling to pick up things today. I should just light the fire, but you know, I'm going out this afternoon, or basically just as soon as I've had lunch, and you know, it's like, it's nice not to have to light the fire. Here's this. I'm just wondering whether a different shape or a smaller label might kind of... That one I don't mind so much. Okay, I think I'm going to go with those, because I need to move on. We've got stuff to do inside the journal to make it a journal. I'm just going to give that... It's a bit white, so we're just going to add some ink. Grungy it up a little bit. And actually, I'm going to tear it a bit as well. Just take a wee chink out of it. Maybe do a little crease there, and maybe another one over here. Ink that up just to give it a bit more something going on. Yeah, like that. That's fun. Okay, lock that one in. Yep, I really like that. Now this one, it feels a bit pristine as well, so I'm going to actually tear off a corner like so, and maybe I'll take... I'm not going to tear it out, I'm just going to kind of fold it back on itself and glue that bit down, because we're going grungy, so let's go all the way grungy. And this is, as I was talking about in the previous video, it's not my usual go-to, so I'm just trying to take it further than what my natural instinct is. My natural instinct is like, you know, pristine, pretty, but I really want to go with the grunge and give it its proper dues. Okay, let's kind of give that a bit of a scrunch. It's already a beautiful creamy colour, so don't need to go too heavy on the ink. Right, we're going to flatten it out, but it will still have a little bit of texture. I just want to tuck it in under there, I think. So just working some of those creases in so that they're glued in creases. Okay, I think the cover is done. I'm going to call it good. And I've got inky fingers already, dirty inky fingers. Okay, down here I think I could add a word, but I'm just going to leave it as is for now. I don't know that a bulb pin would fit. I think the bulb pin would be too short to put in there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I may just leave it. So we've got our pages, 2 pages here, which do feel a little pristine even though they're coffee dyed, but I'm just going to go with it. So I have a piece here of my eco dyed paper that's a bit torn. It's not particularly black like I was talking in the previous video about some of mine turned out quite black. That's okay. I'm just gonna go with that one because it's the one I found. I've got a bit of brown paper here which I've just done some rubbings on with crayon, and I thought that might be just a bit of fun. So I'm not worrying about both sides of the signature, or both signatures having the same papers. So that's about the right size there. And I'm also not too worried about writing space for this one. Paper can be added for writing on top, so you could like stick on a journal card or something to write on. Or it could be a glue book or an art journal, or, you know, so it's going to be whatever the person wants to use it as. And it might be just me. It might be my journal. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Don't know whether I'll sell it or just keep it as my own little art journal or something. Don't know. Right, I've also got some painty papers here which are very grungy but fun, and I think will work perfectly. And I have a couple of pieces of this. So really wanting different sizes in these as well, so I'm just making sure there's different bits and pieces. This is a bit long, so I'm just going to fold it in and have a little flap in there. I think the other one's okay. Yep. So I've got this one which is very similar, or I've got this one done on crossword paper, and I think I'd like to put some of this in. Gives it a bit of colour. Nothing like a good bit of painty paper. Okay, and what else have we got? We've got a digital here. This is one of mine, and this digital is more on the grungy side. It wasn't a conscious decision when I was making it, but when I look back now, I think actually it is towards the grungy side of life. so I think it'll work well. So this I'm going to do uneven, so it will just have a small bit on one side of the signature and then a regular bit. Let's put this one over here, and I think probably 4 bits of paper in each of these is going to be sufficient, because it's, you know, it's not a huge place. So I think putting that in there, and then once the other one goes in, I think that will be more than enough. Okay, and here's another. Do I want to use this bit? I don't know if I want to tear it up. It's also on presentation paper, so it's thicker. What about this gel print? Doesn't matter if we use... Yeah, it's quite different. Which way round do I want it? Maybe that way. Actually, let's leave the white strip on. You can write something down the side there. Okay, so we'll mix that up, separate it from the other bit of painty paper. Right, now I just want to check the height, because that rubbing paper is a little bit taller. I think I need to trim it down just slightly. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tear it this way, so it's a bit more grungy even, not with a straight tear. Here we go. Just an extra bit of fun. So pop that in there. Line them up, kind of, if they're going to play ball. Still a little bit tall in places, but that's fine. I can tear it down a little bit more once it's in, if it's going to be an issue, but should be okay, I think. Okay, now which one am I going to do first? Maybe this one. Doesn't really matter. Right, so grab out my journal sewing in kit. Sorry, I'm completely cutting off the light there. That was not a great move, was it? Particularly since I've only got that light on. It's probably not a good place for it. Can I move it over here? Right, clips. 2, 3, 4. So let's clip it in place. Oh, if I can handle things. It's a little bit awkward, I feel, because it's got extra little flappy bits here and there. And I could probably just put that flap closed and then clip that. That's a good idea. That will hold that there. Right. Okay, what am I going to use to sew in? Do we want brown? I think brown would be quite nice. I could go with embroidery thread, but I'm going with waxed thread instead. So we'll need 2 of those. Oops. So let's measure off another piece. There's that. Now we need a needle. I still have not grabbed out a new needle after I broke my other one. So we'll just use a sewing needle. That one. It's nice big eye on it, so it's pretty good. Okay, and I need my foam piece that I dig my awl into. So let's put one hole in the middle-ish and making sure I catch all the pages. Right, going to have the strings on the inside. Oh, those holes are a bit big, I feel. Oh well, it's grungy, so does it really matter? No, it doesn't. It'll be fine. At least the big hole makes it easy not to catch the thread when I go back through the hole. I'm not explaining my method here because I've done it in many videos and it's not so much a tutorial as just kind of inspiration on how to turn something into a journal. Right. And I will be doing, I will say on other videos how to do it again. Right, it feels nice and tight. Give it a couple of knots, and then I'm just going to trim off the ends and leave them kind of just hanging out. Just hanging out. Passing the time of day. Right. Take the clips off and ready for the next side. Now, do I have a spare clip? Yes, I do. I'm just going to grab out another one because I think it might be helpful if I kind of clip this one over this way so it doesn't get in my way. I think that might be a good idea. Here we go. So it's nicely tucked out of the way. Let's thread our needle ready for the next one. Put my glue away, out of my way would be handy, and my scissors maybe. Do a little tidy up. Okay. So this is the longer set of pages. I made them longer. Put it there. Clip it in place. Oh, that doesn't feel straight. Don't want it to cause an issue at the bottom, so I need to make sure it's straight. Okay, now we can clip that bottom edge. That flap is actually very handy for holding everything in nice out of the way. There's that tear there. Right, and just eyeballing 1, 2, 3, and sewing it in. Where's the hole? I made a smaller hole at this end, so it's better but harder at the same time. Through, come on, where are you? Where are you? There we go. Pull it nice and tight. Oop, get under there. let's just trim those off again. We can always add something to them later if I desire, or whoever gets the journal if I do sell it or give it away. I don't know. No idea. No idea. Right, let's put the needle away so I don't end up with it jabbed into the part of my body. Oh, I've got to tell you guys too, if you watched the previous video, I was talking about having to put fuel in my car, which I haven't done for years. And oh my gosh, I did it. I did do it. But man, it was a process. I did it at the pump because I couldn't see any other way to key in the amount I wanted without putting it through the pay at the pump. So I did that, and I put in $20 into the keypad and then fought to open the fuel cap. It was so hard to open, but I got to open eventually. I was on the brink of asking some random stranger to see if they could open it for me, but I got it done. The nozzle on the, the handle where you pump the fuel left dents in my hand. It was so painful. It just wouldn't, like it was twisted, but it wouldn't go back. So it was pushing against my hand as I was trying to hold it. So I keyed in $20 and turned the pump, started pumping the fuel, and it pumped away for like, I don't know, 10 seconds maybe, and stopped. And I was like, huh? And it had only recorded it as $2, not 20. So it put $2 worth of fuel. Now, fuel here is $2.49 a litre. At the moment, that's what I was paying yesterday. So I got like 0.8 of a litre of fuel. And I was like, ugh. So I thought, well, I need more than that. That's not going to give me that safety barrier that I was wanting for not running out of fuel. So I keyed in another number, and I thought, well, maybe it needs the 4 numbers, like 2000 to record it as 20. So I put in 1800 and went through, and it says $1,800 of fuel will be dispensed. I was like, no, so cancel. So I thought, okay, adding extra zeros is not the thing to do. So I went in, and then I was like, typed in, okay, I want $20 of fuel. That's what I want in my car. So I keyed in 20 and tried that and went through, and it's like $20 of fuel. And I was like, hang on, no, I've put $2 in. I just want to put 18. So cancel again. And then I keyed in 18. It came up, $18 of fuel will be dispensed. And I was like, finally, we've got there. So a couple of minutes later, I was driving away. I was like, what an absolute just debacle. So we've got signatures. Look at that. Just a mix of sizes and papers and fun bits. This little flappy bit there. And then that one folds out the way. And then we've got this one. So you can work back to front. So you could work, this is the front page, then this is the next. So you could work back to front, like so. Or you could just open it right out and then work as per normal. So work from this way. Just options. There is some writing space. There's no writing space. Even this you could write on with like a Sharpie or a dark pen. Ink pen would work on that, no problems. This is crayon, so I don't know how well pen would work on it. Could give it a go, but you can always just like stick another bit of paper over top, or even like a bit of tissue and then write on the tissue. Like, how cool does that look? So it could be used for writing. The fact that there's pages like this doesn't take away from the fact that you can add another piece of paper, or you can add a plain bit. Just grabbing this little scrap here and just tip it in so that you can flip up and still see all the grungy underneath. Tip it in that way. Options. Let's see how it closes up. So this shorter one this way, it's a bit shorter, goes on underneath. This longer one sits on top. Then this at the bottom, hopefully, seems to be okay. Still not sure about whether I just leave this or add something. I think I'm just going to leave it. that one folds in, this one folds in, and then have we got enough string? Yes, we do. We've still got enough string to close it. I think that worked really, really well. I am very, very happy with how that turned out. And I'm calling it done, apart from, since we've got a few minutes, let's just ink up that back while we're here. Let's grab out the ground espresso again. And just change the pad back because I've still got the black one. We might add a bit of black as well, so I might leave that just to the side, but we'll start with ground espresso. Give it a nice good ink up there. I think what ink was left on that pad has dried because it's wanting a decent ink up. Might have been easier to do before I sewed in the signature, but never mind. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. Hindsight is 20/20, they say. You know, it's always perfect to look back and say, well, I could have done this or I should have done that. Easy to do after the fact, but you just don't know beforehand, or you just don't think of it, or you just don't, you know that that's how it's going to be. I'm going to add a little bit of vintage photo around the place as well. Just dirty it up. It will get dirty, you know, the backs of journals get dirty when they're just resting on whatever surface you're writing on. Not always super clean. Okay, it's just a bit of grime. And shall we do a bit of black just to give a bit of something? Why not? Again, just using my older, drier ink pad so we don't go too dark. Is there such a thing as too dark when it's grungy? Probably not. Maybe up in this corner would be nice to get some black up in that corner. Don't know why, just because. Here we go. Just some grime. You know, it's had a life. It's brand new, but it's had a life. That's what we're saying. Okay. I think that is done. I am really pleased with it. So I will show that to my hubby tonight because he bought me these envelopes. I showed it to him last night when I just had, you know, from the previous video. But now that it's finished, I think he can get a better idea of where I was headed with it. Super fun. So if you have something like this or just anything, don't be afraid to experiment to see how you can turn it into a journal or a piece of ephemera to use. That was really fun. I enjoyed going a bit grungy for a change. Could I have gone grungier? I don't know. Let me know if you think I could have gone grungier and maybe how I could have gone grungier, because it's not natural for me to go so grungy. Okay guys, I'm just looking at this going, that's a bit, you know, a bit white for grungy. It's just, before I say goodbye, give like they've been rolling around in the mud before she has her cup of tea. You know, give them a bit of grime, you know, let's grunge it up. I was talking about going, did I go grungy enough? So maybe that helps. And I'm not going to bother putting it on the block, but this is just the ground espresso. Oops. really grunged up her face there. That was a bit not what I intended, but hey, it's okay. Let's give him a bit of a dirty face as well. Why not? They've obviously been playing in the mud before they had their refined cup of tea. Darjeeling, dear? English breakfast? And now I've got really inky fingers. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, my friends. Take care. I'll be back again tomorrow with the Margaret Miller Collage assignment. I hope to see you then. Bye, everybody.